that working? What is up, brother Nix, man? Mr. Nix is in the house. Mr. Nix is in the house. Let's see who's all in the house, man. Let's see who's all in the house. Let me get my my chats right. That's what I need to do. I need to get my chats right. Guys, if you are here this wonderful Saturday morning, leave a 1 in the chat or just send me your city and state. We got Brother Jabron in the house. We got Venator in the house as well, too. We got some folks in the house, man. Good morning, guys. Good morning, good afternoon. Let's see who was all in here, man. Mr. Nix already started this one off. He said, please listen and take immediate action on this subject. I discovered this from another successful person 2 years ago. Income doubled since then, and the sky is the limit. I love that, man. I love that. I love that, Mr. Nix. He came in right away with telling people what to do, man. It's telling people to take the notes, man. We're going to have a good one today, guys. We're going to have a good one. Venator's in the house. Venator says greetings. Brother Venator's in the house. It's Venator. I am glad that you made the show. We might have got some. Oh, that's just the little light right there, man. I need to figure out my lights right there, guys. Venator says greetings. He's coming in from England. Jabron says gems. Jabron bringing the gems. Casual Economist is in the house as well too. Black Mind is coming in the house from Florida. We got Kamal is coming in the house as well too from Japan. Kamal, I just talked to him, man. He's in Japan, really close to Tokyo. Good brother, super smart brother who's actually in the U.S. Navy, man, doing some wonderful things. Really working on his next steps and what that's going to be, man. Oh, Dizzo's in the house as well too. We got Linrad is in the house. Mr. Trey Stout is in the house. Hey guys, if you guys get an opportunity to meet Mr. Trey, you guys are going to be blown away. I got a chance to talk to Trey this week. And let me just tell you, man, genius, absolute genius, 18-year-old who's getting the game at this point. He's watching our channels. He's in our Patreons. He's, just soaking up content. He really is about professional development at a year of 18 years old, guys. So, hey, man, there's no excuse, man. Trey is getting it done. He is a person that wants it, and he wants it early. Has a communication coach. He said a speech coach. He has a career coach in Antoine Wade, doing some really good things, guys. Mr. Nix is coming in from Ohio. Jabron is coming. Yeah. Oh, so that's some going. Kamal is in Japan. That's right. JP, aspiring matriarch. Good morning from Tucson. Saw you on Blind Guy, his wife. Hope your spirit is well. My spirit is fantastic this morning. My spirit is absolutely fantastic this morning, guys. I got a good show for you guys. But what I want to do here is, I want to make this one very interactive, and I have a guest that's going to be on this show as well too. A person that is a mentee of mine, and I actually coach him, and also a friend of mine as well too. And his name is Mr. Steven Stern, and he's an MIS major, by the way, as well too. And he's going to come on and talk about his experiences of navigating the corporate world, getting to the bag, and also to talk about his experience with role models, coaches, sponsors, and mentors. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this show today, guys. I am glad that you guys decided you wanted to join me this early morning. Frances is coming in from the beautiful city of Dallas, Texas. She finally made it. She says, thanks for your great videos. I can't wait to meet one-on-one. Absolutely, Frances. I can't wait either. I can't wait either. Guys, let me do this. Let me take this down real fast. Let me take this down. I'm going to take my chats down for a quick second. And let me just start off by this. My family gets home today, guys. Well, let me say that again. My family gets home today. I think you guys know that my family was in Wisconsin for the last 2 weeks. I dropped them off, I think it was 2 Saturdays ago. And they finally come home today. So they had a good time spending some time with the family, spending some time with my mom, my sisters, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, and now it's time for them to come back. So I got to go to the Austin airport and pick them up today. Looking forward to it because it's been a long time. But I must say this, I've been productive. I've been in the gym. I've been going on walks. I'm getting stronger. I lost about 2 pounds, which is a good thing. Probably because I'm eating the stuff that, I'm eating out a lot, but I go out and I eat a whole bunch of salad. So there's a place that I love called Hat Creek. It's very similar to like a Chick-fil-A. And basically what I go there to do is when I get food is I get some naked tenders and a salad. And that's what I've been eating. And typically I've been only eating 1 time a day. So that's really been helping. And I've cut sugar out of my diet the last 2 weeks. And I must say this, guys, my appetite has really been gone. I don't eat a lot at all. I don't snack. No reason for it. So the weight loss journey to remove the pounds is in full effect and so forth. So let's start off like this, guys. You need role models, mentors, coaches, and sponsors in order for you to get to the bag. That's just simply, it's as simple as that. And I wanted to do this morning. My brother O'Shea. I was just chatting with O'Shea. That's the reason why. That's my brother right there, man. That's my brother right there. Earl's in the house as well too. Hey, let me do this. O'Shea, you always gotta you throwing me for a loop, man. Let's put Earl's in the house. Good morning, brother Earl, coming in from North Carolina. Let's do this. Let me do this. Let me get brother O'Shea up here. He came in with the super chat already. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. He says for the rich fund. I appreciate it. Before I can even start off the show, he's already super chatting. But anyway, while I started the show off, I was actually texting with O'Shea because he sent me a message earlier this morning. He was like, man, what happened? Because him and I were supposed to meet like a week ago. And O'Shea's been obviously you guys probably know O'Shea. If you don't, he's a fantastic content creator. He's a big brother of mine. And he's been in his YouTube space for a long time. And he's really helped me to figure out the algorithms on YouTube and figure out the things that I need to do in order for me to continue to grow the channel. And he's been my coach. He's literally been my coach. And I'm glad that I'm talking about this today because you have to reach out to people who have the expertise. And O'Shea's been doing this for years, and he has had success with multiple channels on YouTube. So of course, if I want to have success in YouTube, I reach out to people who can actually do that. And I had consultations with him, and he's generous with his time. But the last time we were supposed to connect, he was heading out to Poland or Warsaw on a trip, and I thought that we were supposed to meet at a certain time, and we just didn't end up meeting. But a good brother of mine who always is generous with his time and spectacular with his content. Makes a lot of great content and has really given the manosphere he basically is the person that connects everybody. He's the biggest networker in the space of YouTube, especially on Black YouTube. Fantastic brother and a good friend of mine as well too. We got Professor Black Ops in the house, guys. Another brother of mine. I love this brother right here coming in from the city of Minneapolis. You are a role model. I need to get back on my OMAD, 1 meal a day. I tell you one thing like this, brother, Professor Black Ops, 1 meal a day, it works for me because I typically don't eat until maybe 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Anyway, I just start my day off with a nice little coffee, and from there, it works out. So I have my meal, and then I come home. Before you know it, it's time for me to go to bed, and I go to bed pretty early. So 1 meal a day actually works for me. So guys, let me get back to it. O'Shea, you threw me off, my man, but I'm glad that you came through. I appreciate you, brother. You are the example of, leading and needing a coach, and me actually reaching out to a coach to help me within my professional career as well. So many people don't know what the difference between role models, coaches, sponsors, and so forth. And what I want to do in this conversation this morning is to kind of talk about that and how important these people are. So I want to start off with role model. And excuse me, you guys know my sinus. I think it's from the cigars. That's what I'm feeling. I think it's from the cigars. When I smoke a cigar, I start to have a little bit of congestion. So I got to make sure that I'm only doing maybe 2 a week versus 3 or 4. Anyway, a role model. Let me start off with that one first. A role model is someone who has, traits and somebody that you admire and you wish to emulate. So, if I was to say, when I started my professional career, guys, let me say this: there wasn't very many people who looked like me. Okay, but there were people who were in positions of power at the company that I emulated their style, and they were role models to me, and they were role models for me. And I basically looked at them as people that I admire and I wish to emulate, even from how they talk, how they enunciate words, and so forth. And guys, you know this, as you are around people as you are around certain people, you become like those people. And they always say, right, like, you are the combination of your 5 best friends or something like that, right? Or the 5 people that you spend the most time with. It's absolutely true. You start to pick up on their behaviors. You start to pick up on the way they speak, the rhythm of speeches and things like that. Well, you do the same thing if you're spending a lot of your time at work and you admire somebody, right? And my first role model in the professional world was a gentleman by the name of Scott Zickert, who was my boss, right? A person who was super smooth and, he never would, get upset. And anytime that somebody had something to say about something, he was that person that always just was sharp and was onto it. And he was a role model for me. But it's important to have people that you admire, that you look up to, because they have skills a lot of times, right? Certain skills that you may not have. Right. And I say this, role models are important. They are very important and they need to be in your network. And when I say they need to be in your network, they need to be in your network and they need to know that they are a role model to you. So Scott Zickert realized that he was a role model to me based on me telling him that, hey, you know what, you are, because he was my first boss in the professional world as well, too. I think that really helped for him to make sure that he was setting the right example for me as well, too. And let me just say this, he was the reason why I got promoted and was in the positions that I was in a lot of the times. So it's important, guys. It's very important to have role models. And I'll say it like this. Again, a role model is nobody other than somebody who has traits that you admire, that you wish to emulate. And you have to really be very careful with people who you choose as your role models and people who you look up to as your role model. Because growing up, let me tell you this, I was a big fan of Master P. I was a big fan of Master P. So, growing up, not seeing people in the professional world, but when you're listening to music, when you're listening to No Limit music, right? He was a role model for me. And of course, I wore the baggy clothes. I had a No Limit gold chain. I admired that. I thought that getting the money was, getting the fast money was the right way. I thought that the music game was the right way and so forth, right? And that really carried its way for me in high school as well, too. And then you start to see that a lot of people saw him as a role model as well, because everybody was shouting out No Limit soldiers, right? All that stuff, right? So you just have to be very careful with who you choose as your role model, because you want your role model, again, to be somebody that you admire. And you have to think about this long term. Where is it that you want to go? And you want to choose role models that are on your path, or have already gotten there already. So that's the first thing, guys. First thing is role model. The definition of a role model is somebody who has traits that you admire, that you wish to emulate. Okay. All right, let's continue on. Mentor is somebody who's different, right? A mentor is somebody who is completely different. And guys, I want you to do this. If you guys have your definition of a role model, if you have role models that you admire, shout them out in the chat. Shout them out in the chat as well, too, because I want you guys to contribute to this conversation as well, too. And more than likely, I'll open this up once I get through this monologue and have Steven introduce himself and talk about his experience as well, too, because I want to hear from you guys. This may be a long stream this morning. Mentor. So a mentor is someone who talks with you about your career, your goals, your plans, your aspirations, right? They help you refine your plan. They are people who, that I would suggest, a Professor Black Ops would suggest that you talk to, right? So Professor Black Ops would be like, hey, you know what, Trey, I know you're interested into going down this field. Hey, I think you should go talk to Brother Antoine Way or Brother Black Heights, right? He's suggesting a mentor to Trey. And of course, Trey comes over to you Black Heights, and now, Trey is a mentee of mine, and I am a coach of Trey as well, too. But a mentor is basically somebody who talks to you about your career, your goals, your plans, and your aspirations. And they help to refine your plan and suggest people that you should talk to. And they look for opportunities that you should partake in, and and talk to you about the obstacles that you should be aware of. So I'm a mentor for many people. I'm a mentor / coach, and there's a difference, and I'll talk about the difference as well too. I'll talk about the difference between a mentor and a coach. But a mentor really is somebody who's going to give you the game and really share opportunities with you that you should potentially partake in, and also give you game about obstacles that you should be aware of. And mentors usually take on two major roles. They help with your career and with the social needs and the motivation and inspiration that you're going to need towards your next goal or your milestone. But they also are people who recommend other people that you should be using as a mentor as well. And typically what I would say about a mentor is this is a long-term relationship, continuing for many years, as well as, basically for a lifetime. This is somebody that you can call at just about any point in time. And I'm going to introduce you to a mentee of mine who I talk to very often and very frequent, at least through text message, at least twice a week, and so forth. But let me talk about the next one. A coach. A coach. A coach is someone who talks at you. And let me say this. Let me make sure I say this the correct way. A coach is someone who talks at you to try to perfect something specific that you have going on. So you think about it. If you were to give a TED talk and you wanted to be prepared for that TED talk, then you would hire a coach to help you with something like storytelling, right? And if you have your eye on getting into the C-suite, you might wish to hire a coach who can help you with your executive presence, or perhaps even understanding what your passion or your purpose is, so that you can really identify what your strengths and weaknesses are and things like that. So that's the coach. A coach is somebody who is there to help you with a specific need, and help you to try to perfect something that you want done. It could be, you getting ready for a TED talk. It could be you getting ready to your journey to the C-suite. It could be you getting ready to apply to a new job. That's what coaches are for. And typically these guys are transactional a lot of the times, and they could take the form of a mentor if you and the coach hit it off in the right way. But most of the time, these guys are people that you transact with that's going to help you with a specific purpose. And after that, you guys kind of go on your own way, because once you've already completed a TED Talk, what do you need a coach for? Unless you're going to do multiple TED Talks and things like that. He's going to help you build your confidence so that you can do the TED Talk. And once you're done with that, it's over, right? Or he's going to help you to get a job that you've been trying to get or getting in Google or something like that. And once you get there, you don't get there, then you don't need him anymore, right? Or at least you don't need him for that specific issue anymore. But, coaches are good. And these are people that you want to seek out when you have challenges. And for me, for instance, let me just talk about my experience with a coach. So brother O'Shea Duke Jackson is a coach for me. I reached out to O'Shea to say, O'Shea, how can I go from 5,000 subscribers to 7,000 subscribers? And he's the person that helped me with that. Right? Antoine, you need to look at your thumbnails. Antoine, you need to look at your titles. Antoine, you need to look at your analytics. You need to start creating content for these types of people based on your analytics. You need to be able to engage with people based on this segment within your viewership or within the population that really watches your channel. So that's a coach, guys. Let me tell you something like this. Let me tell you. Kamal says this. My mentor in the military is Yanir Cabrera. I would not be where I am without his guidance. Absolutely. Absolutely. Falcon Black says, O'Shea sent me. I appreciate you for coming in, Falcon Black. Falcon Black says this. My Taekwondo coach, my external or eternal mentor. Absolutely. And they can play both roles a lot of the times as well, too, if you have a good relationship with the coach. Absolutely. Blind guy, his wife, their life, guys, fantastic couple. I was actually on their show yesterday. We were talking about plant-based diets as well as getting to the bag in corporate America, and they had me on to share my experience of how you can climb the corporate ladder, advance your career relatively fast, and it was a fantastic show, guys. Go and check out Blind Guy, his wife, their life. Fantastic couple, fantastic YouTube channel. Kamal says, okay, no, Blackman says, listening to you for a while, looking to go into tech sales, starting as an SDR. You're definitely my role model. As I come close to my graduation, I'll be booking a session. I appreciate you, Blackman. Absolutely. And that's the thing, right? You want to emulate yourself to be around people that you admire and somebody who has traits that you admire and that you inspire to be, or aspire to be. That's what it is. That's the correct word. So let's get over here. Let's now talk about sponsors. Let's talk about sponsors, guys. And this is important for the folks who want to climb in corporate America. This is important for people who really want to climb in corporate America. We talked about the roles of role models for sure, right? Role models are people that you want to, you admire and you wish to emulate and so forth. We talked about mentors and how they really help you with, navigating your career, and they're long-term people. But a lot of times you got to remember this, mentors, they aren't in positions of power a lot of the times to help you in the corporate world. They can give you the guidance, help you navigate, help you stay away from certain obstacles and stuff like that. But if your mentor is somebody who works outside of the company that you work for and you're trying to climb the ladder, that mentor isn't going to be able to help you in that position. A coach, on the other hand, will be able to help you get to a certain position by, a transactional sort of a relationship that you're going to have with him. Maybe it is the fact that you're going to apply for a chief marketing position and you got to go through interview process. Your coach could be the person that you hire to help you with that interview process. Sponsors. This is how you get to the bag, guys. I'm going to tell you like this. This is how you get to the bag. If you want to climb corporate America, you have to have a sponsor. And a sponsor is someone who talks about you when you are not in the room, guys. I want to make this very clear to you. A sponsor is somebody who works in the company that you are working for, but somebody who talks about you when you are not in the room. So I think you guys have seen the visibility videos that I've put out there around how do you get promoted and stuff like that. And visibility is very important because you want to make sure that you are conversating and rubbing shoulders with the people who are at leadership positions. If your leaders don't know who you are, there's no chance for you to get promoted. So visibility is very important. But in addition to visibility, you need to have somebody who is a sponsor to you. Someone who talks about you when you are not in the room. Give you an example. A lot of times in these conversations, in these rooms, they're sitting around a table, executives, and they're talking about new opportunities that are coming up. And of course, visibility is important because if you know an executive, they are going to more than likely, if your name comes up, they're going to more than likely have good things to say about you. Well, check this out, right? If you have a sponsor, and let's just say you have visibility as well, and your name came up, and somebody said, hey, you know what? Antoine was going to do something this year to where, I've had to had a tough conversation with him about being detail oriented. If a sponsor was in that room to hear that conversation, the sponsor would be like, okay, well, what do you mean by that? Antoine is absolutely detail oriented. I just had him on an assignment and he got everything done the right way, right? He would be able to shut that conversation down a lot of the times to speak for you when you are not in the room. Because the person who is saying something about you potentially is just saying something so that he can boost somebody else in his group that he wants to get promoted, right? So you have to remember that you need to have sponsors. You need to have sponsors who's going to be there and they are going to talk about you when you are not in the room. Hey, I know a guy, his name is Antoine. Antoine is doing some really good things. Or if somebody says something about Antoine and it's not in the right way, they're going to correct that, right? So here's the thing. You can do everything right in your career, but if someone doesn't notice and recognize your efforts, it would be extremely difficult for you to get promoted within your organization. And that's why visibility is key. That's why having a sponsor is key as well, guys. It's very important to have a sponsor that's going to be there to help talk and speak for you when you're not in the room, because a lot of the times you're not going to be in the room at all when a lot of these conversations are going on. You're not even going to be privy to it a lot of the times when these conversations are going on. You may be a junior manager and your next row is to get to a senior manager. And you're not going to be invited to those executive conversations when that stuff happens. But you need to make sure that you have a sponsor that when something comes up out of your 9 box, oh, this person may not be ready for it yet. That sponsor is going to be like, no, that person is, he's ready for it. And this is the reason why he's ready for it. And the way how you get a sponsor is no different than you reaching out and asking somebody to be your mentor, right? You have to really be very crystal clear that this person is going to be, you're asking for sponsorship. You have to bring something to the table. And let me tell you this. So a mentor is somebody that you may have a long-term relationship with. A sponsor is somebody that you're not going to get a lot of their time. You're not going to get a lot of their time at all because these guys are typically busy. And you may have conversations with them maybe twice a quarter, maybe, 4 times a year. But they know who you are. You keep them updated with what's going on, and they're going to vouch for you guys. So I wanted to make that clear, guys. I wanted to make that clear. Role model, someone you want to become, right? Somebody you admire. Mentor, somebody that you talk with, right? Coach is somebody that talks at you. Sponsor is somebody that talks about you. That's the game, guys. That's the game. So let me do this. I have a good brother of mine who is going to come on the show. His name is Mr. Steven Stern. And I'm going to bring him in right now because Steven is someone who I've been mentoring for quite some time. And I wanted to introduce him to the chat because Steven is in tech as well. He's in supply chain tech. Oh, he's actually not in supply chain anymore, but he's still in tech. And he's been doing some magnificent things. And he reaches out to me very often about career conversations. And one thing about Steven, I must say, he reaches out. I mean, again, he reaches out at least 2 to 3 times a week, whether it's him going on a trip to Jamaica and sitting on the beach, showing me how he's big pimping, or he's reaching out saying that he's gambling in Las Vegas. But Steven, man, welcome to the show, brother. How are you this morning, man?
Doing great, doing blessed. How you doing, Antoine?
I can't complain. I wanted to bring you on the show today to kind of tell your story, to talk about, why you've needed role models, why you've needed mentors and stuff like that. But before we get there, let me just ask for you to quickly introduce yourself to the chat, man. Tell people who Mr. Stern is.
All right. So Mr. Stern is a 40-year-old. I consider myself a technologist. I just love technology in and out. I was first introduced to technology. It wasn't through high school, actually, because when I was growing up in Stone Mountain, Georgia, our introduction to technology was Excel spreadsheets and so forth. They didn't really have programming classes or web programming or machine or any of that. So I was introduced to it one day. I went to Office Depot. I bought a hard drive, and I was like, man, how do I get this hard drive in the computer? And I took the computer apart, put it together, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. I wonder what makes this computer talk. And then that landed me into college, into computer science. We'll be honest, flunked out the first time. Had to come back, start back over. Had to come back, start back over.
One thing, Steven. The reason why I'm laughing at that because you got many computer science majors in here. Professor Black Ops is a computer science major. You got me, who's a computer science minor. I made the right decision to go to management information systems because computer science is a very tough major. But continue on. Talk about you getting a second chance and you going back at it.
So the second chance, I ended up at the VRI, and the counselor looked at me and he said, "Man, you're coming in here with like a 1.0. That's like a free throw." And I was like, you know what? Don't even worry about it. Just throw those credits out. I'll start back over. And that honestly was a blessing in disguise because then I learned the importance of regardless of how you fall down, it matters how you get back up.
Mm. Mm.
And our class started out with about 600, and when we graduated, it was like 52.
Wow.
Because you know how it gets when those core classes kick in, not the critical thinking and the social sciences. When those core classes kick in, when you start doing the object-oriented programming, people are like, "Oh man, this isn't for me."
Yep.
I was just trying to, people get into computer science to chase the bag, but it's not their love.
Mm-hmm.
And once they realize it's not, they switch their major.
Yep. Yep.
So, and so graduated from DeVry. DeVry then led me to working little miscellaneous tech jobs here. Not really anything great. Then my first big break was like I had landed a job with IBM under a role known as a level 3 software engineer. And that role, I was invited into that through a minority hiring initiative called Project View. Mm-hmm. They flew me out to Texas. I was ecstatic to the point where I forgot my shoes and I had to go to Walmart and go buy some shoes. Didn't realize I didn't have any dress shoes with me. Landed a job, first work from home gig at 26. And I was ecstatic. I was like, man, IBM, I'm here.
Yep.
Well, after a year, IBM sold off the division. So, minor setback, but picked myself back up. Then I started working for the federal government in the G6 division. Which G6 is just pretty much the technology division of the Army, well, any DOD. It goes G1 through, I believe, 9 or 10. So I was in G6 in the IMO shop, which is information assurance. Then moved into the information infosec sector.
Yep. And Stephen, you got a lot of people on here who've done government contracting and who's worked for the Department of Defense. Professor Black Ops is another one as well too. He talks about it all the time, man.
Yeah.
But continue on, sir. Continue on.
We could probably exchange some stories, Black Ops. So, while I was at Fort McPherson working for USARC, which was the United States Army Reserves, I met Lieutenant Colonel Tony Jefferson, who became my mentor, sponsor, and everything, my advocate, my voice. And he was like, hey, man, look, this base is shutting down. I would suggest you go get your master's to elevate you above everybody else so you have a bigger bargaining chip and kind of get more abreast of what's going on. So I ended up doing that before we left for Fort Bragg. I got my master's in information systems management with a minor in InfoSec. Got to Fort Bragg and I was miserable.
Yeah. Well, tell me this, Stephen.
Yeah.
So, you mentioned that the lieutenant, I believe you said, right? He was a mentor, yes, coach, or a sponsor. Talk about how you developed that relationship and how you got to that point where you've got him to be, a mentor and a sponsor for you. Talk about that real quick. Just something quick. I just want to make sure we hit that point.
So it's interesting. I walked in and like you had mentioned earlier, it's not many of us early were in the industry that looked like us. Mm-hmm. So coming from IBM, I didn't see anybody who looked like me. Come to the reserves, and the whole division was actually African American, the G6, the majority of it. So here I seen someone who looked like me, who was one rank below a congressional approved position, which is colonel, then you become general. I was inspired. I was like, man, there's someone who looks like me who's actually doing successful. Mm-hmm. So I just gravitated to him because I see how he commanded attention in the rooms and how he spoke and how polished he was. And I just approached him one day and I said, hey, look, I'd like for you to be my sponsor, my mentor. And then he became my sponsor unbeknownst to me because he actually suggested for me to get a rank increase a year earlier than what they wanted to give me to. And it was very important to me to meet him.
Yes. And let me tell you this, and that's something that's very good. That's a point that you made, Stephen, that I didn't even touch on. A lot of times, if you choose a mentor who's in the company that you're in, right, and these people are in positions of power, they ultimately become your sponsor as well. Now, here's the thing about mentors. In the corporate world, a lot of times that are above you, right? You have to bring something to the table and you have to make them feel like they are, I don't want to say God, but in a way, like you have to really make them feel like they are responsible for helping you within your career. And ultimately what these people do, since they are in positions of power, management and leadership and stuff like that, they ultimately become your sponsor. And a lot of time that's unbeknownst to you, because they could be in these rooms. There's been many mentors I've had in the corporate world that I didn't think that I was their sponsor, but when their name would come up, I would speak up on behalf of them because I would have the latest and greatest information. They'd be like, hey, you know what, Antoine, I want to do this assignment. And of course, I'd be like, hey, this is assignment. I just talked to XYZ. He wants to do an assignment like this. They were like, how do you get that information? Well, I'm his mentor. And ultimately, that's a sponsor. You're absolutely right. I love that you said that. Continue on, sir.
And so he was my sponsor, unbeknownst to him. He pulled me in the office one day, and like I said earlier, he's like, hey man, I actually suggested that you get a promotion a year early because of just the great work you've been doing. Something I've never experienced before, because up to that point I was just pretty much entry-level IT, miserable. You're up to your neck in debt. You're like, damn, I went to school for all this time and I'm just doing the monotonous tasks.
Yep.
So I would say about 2009 rolled around, and that's when I got an email from Ren Prairie saying, hey, we'd like to come interview for a role. And at this point in my career, I had left out of the technical field like that, as far as like troubleshooting and code debugging and all that. I was an InfoSec because that's where I was going to take my career path. I wanted to do InfoSec, manage the NEC and so forth. So I flew down to Georgia and interviewed with someone. Actually, his name is Antoine Wade. I said, look, here it is. It's someone else who looks like me who's now interviewing me. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. I was like, here it is, someone who looks like me, who's a manager with hiring authorities. This is, once again, second time I experienced this. And at this point, I was 8 years into my career field. And I was like, wow, this is interesting. So we interviewed, and it didn't feel like an actual interview.
Yep.
It just felt like we were just talking, shooting stories and so forth. And then as I was flying back to Fort Bragg, I actually got offered the job. And then I started in July 2012. And taking that leap of faith, it actually doubled my salary.
Yeah.
Because I came out of my comfort zone. And that's something that I think is a message that it needs to be drilled home, is we are our biggest competition. We get stagnant, we get comfortable with the world that we're in, something which usually leads us to doubt our own abilities to be able to do more. And just taking that leap and pushing myself forward, like I said, it doubled the salary, it blew my mind. I was like, holy crap, I'm making all this money. I don't even know what to do. So I moved to Atlantic Station, which I bumped into Antoine one day down there at the bar.
Yep. So check this out, right? So let me fill in here too, Stephen, because I love the fact that you talked about that, right, guys? And you guys already know I talk about, with Black Heights, we help, we mentor, we coach, we train, and so forth, right? But this is an example of someone who I've been able to help in my professional career, right? So when Stephen came on to the company that I was at, I had just became manager, and I was responsible for building a team from scratch, right? Yes. And you got to remember this, right? When you're in the tech space, and this is the thing why I'm going to talk about this, guys, because a lot of people are so scared to go on management, because it could be a challenge, and you're going to have a lot of weight on your shoulders, and you're going to be responsible for a lot, and you're going to have to report to certain people that you may not like, and you're going to have to manage up, and you're going to have to manage down, and it's a lot of responsibility, and you're going to be responsible for people's development and so forth. But it is a power play if you know what to do with it. And let me just say this like this, right? Me becoming a manager and being responsible for ultimately building a team, I had direct hiring authority who was going to be on my team. So it was an opportunity for me to basically say, you know what, if I'm going to create a basketball team, these are going to be my people. Mr. Stern came in And Mr. Stern came in sharp with a nice suit. Of course, just like he said, you don't see too many of us in this world. And we instantly hit it off, to where he even says right now that it didn't feel like an interview. Well, it wasn't an interview in a way. It was just me to get a chance to understand who he was, what is his strengths. Is he going to work hard for me? Is he going to work with me? Or is he going to try to, come in and say, you know what, I'm going to try to take Antoine's job? And that's not what Stephen was. So I had an opportunity to vet him, and I made the hiring decision that day. When he said he was flying back, he had already had the offer in his hand. I walked out of the room and said, that's him. I'm getting him right away. Because I didn't want to lose the opportunity. So I said, you know what, let me go ahead and give him an offer. I even knew how much he made at that point in time because he actually shared it with me. So I made him an offer that was going to double his salary. That's how you look out for people. That's how you put people in positions of power. That's why you are in a manager role a lot of the times, because you can help people who look like you in these situations. And it doesn't have to be, my entire team wasn't black, but I had a lot of black people on my team, right? Meaning, I think it was 4 or 5 of us. You, Kelly, Andre, quite a bit of people who was on the team, right? So you can choose your level of diversity based on what you want or how you want to play your cards if you're in positions of power, guys. It's important. It's very important. A lot of people say you're helping people out. Well, are you really helping people out? Because if you're going to stay in an individual contributor role, you're going to get your own money. You're helping yourself out. But when you get to positions of power and have resources and have hiring authority, that's when you're really making a difference. You were really making a difference then. And literally, Stephen told me how much he was making in that room. He told me how much he was making at that point in time. I was like, you know what? All right, I'll make you an offer that you cannot reject. So he got an offer.
There was no rejection.
There was no rejection, right? That's the power of being in positions of power, guys. And I just wanted to share that with you all. Continue on, Mr. Stern.
Yeah, so I don't think I even did the exit interview with the federal government. I was like, hey, I'm out. Left my cat card, left my laptop. See ya. And they were like, but you're going to give up, your retirement benefits and blah, blah, blah. I said, yes, because I'm getting an opportunity where it's better financially and I get to go back to my family, which is in Georgia, instead of being stuck on this military base. So Red Prairie, which then became JDA, which then became Blue Yonder. I watched Antoine grow from the ranks from manager to director. And I think did you hit VP or you got to senior director?
I got to senior director. Then I decided to get my MBA and left.
Yes, then I decided to get his MBA. And I was like, damn, where's Antoine at? And they're like, oh, Antoine's left the company. So then I was like, oh, man, the man who brought me in left. And I was like, okay, that inspired me a little bit. But I got comfortable in the position I was in. Because at this point, this was about 4 years into my role there. And I got comfortable. So I go on to Facebook and I'm like, let me go check out what Antoine's doing. Antoine is in a penthouse. Was it Singapore or something? He's standing there like this in front of on the floor, looking out the window, and there's a penthouse. He's like, I've taken on the role of VP. And I was like, oh. Yep.
That was in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, man.
Yep. Yeah, I said, okay, he's not my mentor. He doesn't know it, but he's not my mentor. So, in 2000 and actually this year, Blue Yonder got bought out by Panasonic and they did some employee action. So I was one of those who got affected, and I reached out to Antoine. I said, hey, man, I just need some advice. I've got laid off. I was in this position for 9 years. I got real comfortable. And Antoine's words to me was like, man, well, time to get the bag. And I didn't think much of it. And he was like, look, I know your work ethic. I've seen your skill set. I've seen your drive for success, your attention to details. You can ask for what you want and you will get it. Just have faith in yourself. So Antoine, I met a couple times, and within, I would say, 3 weeks of me being laid off, I was having interviews with Google, Amazon, Slack, Splunk, and just the amount of people that were reaching out to me, it was crazy. Here it is, I just got laid off 3 weeks ago, and all these companies are reaching out. So the message behind that is, people, is if you get laid off or you fall flat on your feet or you feel like you're stuck in a box, break out the box. There are tons of jobs out there in the tech industry, and the majority of them now, they're work from home because of coronavirus. And now the companies are realizing that we don't need to have these massive campuses open. The employee can work from home. It's better for their mental, better for work-life balance. And by taking that leap of faith, listen to Antoine, I then once again doubled my salary again into a role where Antoine told me, he's like, if you're going into a role, so do something you like. It can't take over your life. Don't let it be stressful. And that's the role that I landed now. I'm a marketing solutions engineer for a Southern company, and absolutely love the job. I'm managing 3 applications: Bill Gen, Energy Direct, and Price Gen, and the communications between Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia, and the development teams for those products. And going to start working on trying to move items. There's a list of about 200 applications that we're trying to see which ones can go to Oracle Cloud, which ones we have to cut off. Then lastly, my team just did a Google Voice integration for Georgia Power. So now you can ask Google about your bill, and they'll let you know. And that was pretty amazing. Antoine was the first person I reached out to when it happened.
Yep.
And he was like, damn, that's awesome.
Because I'm a big fan of Google. I'm a big fan of Google, and I use Google. I have the Pixel phone. I've always had it. I have Google devices in my house, and I don't know if I just triggered her, but yeah. I'm a big fan of Google. I'm a big fan of Google. Let's do this, Steven. Let me go in the chats. Let me go in the chats, guys. So Blind Guy and his wife says, listening in and enjoying. Kamal says, oh, yep. I think I got to these. Christopher Clark, welcome to the chat, my man. He says he comes here on behalf of O'Shea. Power to the brothers. Blind Guy, his wife, their life, says, Steven, you started at the bottom. Now you're here. Absolutely, man. Professor Black Ops says, computer science. 1990 and grinding. Keep grinding. Core is no joke. He was talking about the classes, man. Computer science courses are they are troubling.
They'll break you. You get to that Java, people are done. I'm going to business. I'm going to business courses. Let me do pie charts.
They're a lot easier. Mr. Nick says, polymorphism is an object-oriented coding class that gives computer science programs many victims and bodies. Many. Yes. It does. It breaks you, man. It breaks you. Mr. Nick says computer science, minor in math with an MBA. Worse was operating systems in a single language. Absolutely. Professor Black Ops says, I'm teaching Java. No junior program left behind. LOL. Hey, man, at the end of the day, Professor Black Ops, there's going to be some people who are left behind, man. Benny says, good morning, Benny. I appreciate you coming through. Jessica Hit says, mentors are so important for gaining professional advocacy for promotions, new projects, etc. I didn't advance until real advocates at work. Yes, you're absolutely right, guys. It's important to have mentors in the position. I'm like, that's just it's very important to have mentors in your role, in your career, in your organization, because if you don't have these, you're not going to get a lot of the opportunities. And what you're going to want, a lot of the times, here's the thing, right? You almost going to want to kind of blend this stuff. And I talked about the difference between role models, mentors, coaches, and sponsors. Again, let me repeat that. Role model is someone who you want to become, somebody you admire. A mentor is somebody that talks with you about your career and so forth. A coach is somebody that talks at you. A sponsor is somebody who talks about you, right? So if you think about it, a lot of the times, if there's somebody that you admire in your job, right? So for instance, let me say this. My first manager, Scott Zickert, I admire him, role model. When I came in, I was a software engineer. So he was like, man, I mean, like, 4 steps above me in the organizational chart, right? Software engineer, senior software engineer, master software engineer, blah, 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 manager, right? He was 4 or 5 levels above me as my manager. But he was somebody that I looked up as a role model, somebody that I want to become because I want to get to that position and make that amount of money one day and have that sort of the ability to hire and fire and make these ultimate decisions. Well, I also saw him as a mentor. So me leveraging him as a mentor, he was able to talk with me. He was able to help me with the objectives that I need in order for me to get promoted. He was also a sponsor for me when him and I were having our conversations about me meeting or exceeding those objectives that I talked about in Blind Guy, His Wife, Their Life show yesterday. He was the one that was a sponsor for me as well. When he left to go into the product management organization, and I was just a senior software engineer, guess what he said? He said, there's nobody that's ready to take on this project than Antoine Wade. He gave me one of the biggest projects and suggested me for the biggest projects in the company that they ever had. We were bringing in a grocery customer at that point in time, and we've never had any grocery customers, right? And this was another division of the one that he just had implemented with me as a software engineer. So I got promoted, he left. And he said, I would prefer, if you guys want to have any amount of success, the person who really cares about this project is Antoine Wade. And he was my sponsor. He talked about me when I wasn't in the room. And I became, as a senior software engineer, the lead of that project with just that title. Now, it was hell because that's the year that I was on the road for 268 days of my life. That's the year that I really wanted to break and quit. That was a year that I finally understood that hard work really does pay off, because I got a lot of awards. I got the President's Club Award. I got the person who had the most billable hours in the company. They flew me out, me and my wife, well, my girlfriend at the point in time, flew us out to Cabo, flew us out to Denver, all sorts of stuff where it made you feel good about the hard work that you were putting in. But not only that, my acceleration up to the project lead title happened every single year. They said, Antoine, you know what? You're doing this now. We're going to take care of you. So I was in a senior software engineer role for like a year, master software engineer for like a year, project lead role for like a year. And they took care of me. That's how you do it. And that's how you help people when you're working for a specific company and you actually have a mentor and a sponsor. They help to get you in roles that you want to be in. And they say, I'm going to look out for this guy. And guys, I'm telling you like this, going from $48,000 a year to 56 and all of a sudden accelerating all the way up to 120 plus within a matter of 2 years, it's life changing. It's life changing. Let me continue on in the chat here, because I want to give you an opportunity to talk about some stuff too, Mr. Stern. So give me a second. Jessica here says, okay, yes, I had a mentor tell me that I was becoming stagnant years ago. I hadn't realized it at the time, but moving to another position that pushed me was helpful for my career and mental well-being also. Absolutely. That's huge. It is important. And Steven, Mr. Stern, will tell you that. I mean, like, Stern, go ahead and talk about the 8 years at Red Prairie, and how you had got to a position of stagnation, doing the same thing for that amount of time.
Yeah, so I definitely reached a point of stagnation when Antoine was in the charge of that team. We were just responsible for basically just taking care of our customized codes branches, but we're just more in the aspect of, hey, we got a defect that came in. Can you guys kind of investigate it? Then the team ended up transforming to, well, what we want you guys to really be are developers, which now that I understand how it goes is we want you guys to be developers because the customer's paying money for the product, but we don't want to pay you guys anymore. So you're going to start doing all these roles and take on these roles. So I ended up taking on roles of a developer, DBA, system admin, consultant, functional consultant, client liaison, client relations manager. And what ended up happening is I got extremely comfortable in the role, and I became burnt out quite frequently. I was very burnt out, stressed out. There were times where I would work. One time I actually worked a full 24 hours. We had an issue where the pay engine went down and we were up for a full day. I went into the office, watched the sun go down, went home, watched the sun come back up. We got the issue resolved because, the customer comes first in those kind of situations, but it led to me being burnt out. And because I stayed there because I was comfortable, I was actually my biggest downfall and my biggest wall. And they had to basically force me out by me being laid off to then reach to the next level to break my just being comfortable where I was. And it was the biggest blessing that I ever had.
Mm.
Definitely.
And tell me this, Stephen. So you mentioned, getting comfortable and so forth, and Jessica Hicks hit on that as well too. Let me say this. I'm gonna read through the chats. So, but tell me this, Stephen. Why do you think you got comfortable, man? Was it the money? What was it? Was it the fact that you enjoyed the work, or was it the fact that you didn't understand the path to go in, right? Like, what is it a lot of the times, right? Because we can get to a point a lot of times where we can make a good amount of money. Again, your situation was, you came into Red Prairie, we doubled your salary, right? You're making good money. You're doing well for yourself, right? You have real estate, you have nice cars. Stephen, Mr. Stern is a car enthusiast, and he has very nice cars. He was the first person that really got me into the E63 that I currently have right now. It just took me when Stern had it when he was an engineer, and I didn't get it until 2 years ago when I was a VP.
He was like, "Yeah, man, I got the E63. I finally got it, man." And I was like, "Yeah, that gas mileage sucks, though. Get ready for that."
well, it was funny because I got back from Malaysia and bought that car. And it was a used, but it's a 2008 model of it, right? And you had the 2008 model when we were back in I'm like, it was close to 2010. So that car for you was pretty much brand new for you, right?
Yeah.
So, but that's the thing, right? So, I made sure that I wasn't going to get that car until actually I could pay cash for it. And now that I have it, it's my weekend car, man. It's a beautiful car. But talk about the piece of it, Stern. I wanted to get back to the question. Was it money? Was it not having the correct career path? Was it that you enjoyed what you did? Because I've never been a person that been in a career or a role for longer than 3 years. I think this is the longest that I've been into a role. And the reason why I'm in this role long, because I have a path to make a certain amount of money and plan to make a certain amount of money to continue to buy assets and stuff like that. But talk about the reasons behind that, Stern.
Well, the main thing is honestly, I did not have a path. Came in, doubled the salary, and I was excelling at my role. I was closing out 115 cases a year. And I was just excelling until it got to a point where my health took a decline, where I had to have back surgery, and then things kind of started steadying off and then falling. But it was really that I did not have a proper career path to understand, and I really didn't know where I wanted to go. Because at that point, the company I was working for, they didn't really have an actual ladder where you can progress. It was just entry-level engineer, then senior, and then you can become the manager if the stars align. And then that was it. So once I started doing a little bit of more research and trying to understand what were the roles, all that I were doing, and what could it relate to, I'm talking to my friends, and they're like, "Man, you're doing 10 people's jobs, man. You should just have one role, not all those roles." So that's when I was like, okay, well, maybe I would try to go into the solution architect, because it kind of just combines all those skill sets that I've been working for the last 8-9 years on. And that's where I am now. And I actually thoroughly enjoy it.
I love that. Career paths are very important. Understanding what that career path is. And a lot of times, you mentioned something, Stern. At that level, we have, 2 levels in becoming a manager. If you choose not to become a manager, there's not really a clear career path for you, right? And let me get this title bar out of the way here. But here's the thing. Just because, and I like to tell, people that I'm coaching and mentoring, is just because you don't see it, that doesn't mean that you can't grow. And a lot of times that growth is going to have to be out of that department a lot of the times as well, too, right? And, one of the things I saw at that company was I was not going to be able to get to that VP title because we had Mrs. Rogers that was there. You remember her. And, she had just got promoted to that role. I'm like, all right, well, in order for me to get to that role, I got to leave this company. And I chose to leave after getting my MBA and so forth. But that's another way that people can do it, guys. If you don't see a clear career path in your organization that you can get to, you have two options. One, go to another department, right? Find there. And that's where the importance of having a mentor and, a sponsor, right? Because they can help you get over there. Not only that, you have to go to another company. Got to get out.
Yeah.
You got to get out.
That's what I did.
That's exactly what you did, Stern. That's exactly what you did. So, let me get back here. Kamal says, great story. I currently feel as if I am in the box. That's a lot of people feel like that, Kamal, as well. You're right. I mean, like, that's just, let me see if I can bring some of these up on here. It'll be good so I can read through them. Let me get here. And guys, do me a favor. Do me a favor. Go ahead and hit that like button, guys. I want to make sure that we have the likes on this video going up. I appreciate you guys. Go ahead and hit that like button. My wife just sent me a message and she's like, hey, we got to get the likes up. Guys, get the likes up. Great story, Kamal says. I'm currently feel as if I'm in box and I'm working to break out. Kamal, you're absolutely, you're working to break out. And that's why he reached out to me to help him, to be that coach, to be that mentor. That's the thing. If you're feeling like you're in a box a lot of times and you have nowhere to go, that's where a mentor can help you. They can help navigate, where you can potentially go. They can help you understand the organization pitfalls and so forth. Mentors are very important, guys. And Mr. Kamal just reached out to me this week, and I spoke with him all the way from the other side of the country while he's in Japan doing his work in the U.S. Navy. And Kamal is a fantastic person, super bright man. Smarter than I am, I tell you that. Mr. Nick says, or Jessica says, hi, Mr. Nick. I mean, it presented me more a challenge. I needed to shift from everyday stuff I had learned and needed to try something different. It also broadened my understanding of the field. Absolutely. And then she also says her salary increased a ton. Absolutely. You have to. One of the things she said that was really enlightening here was anytime you're stagnant, you are likely not learning much. Always be learning and you will always advance. Absolutely. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
When I feel like I'm getting comfortable, at least how I've navigated my career, I'm always ready to do something else. I'm ready to take on the next challenge. And typically that's about 2 years for me, 2.5, 2 years or something like that for me. Jessica says, I'm loving the conversation as always, and I agree 100%. I have to get ready for class now. Looking forward to the next one, gentlemen. Take care, Miss Jessica. Thank you so much for coming in. Markland says, loving the conversation, guys. He definitely started from the bottom and has grown to a boss. Absolutely. I love that. See, and that's the thing too, right? When you get opportunities, new opportunities to do something else, it's a restart. It's like that reset button, and you have all the prior knowledge from the past that you have that you're bringing along with you. And now you look at Mrs. Stern. Mrs. Stern is managing, bossing up. We were talking about Oracle Cloud the other day, last week, and we were like, who uses Oracle Cloud? But we know a company that uses Oracle Cloud now. Because Oracle Cloud isn't big, but again, I think they're growing because they're growing for companies with companies like you guys.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a fun time. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Again,
that's new technology being learned there.
Absolutely. Markland Designs of Atlanta says, loving the conversation, guys. He definitely started from the bottom. I think I read that one already. Let's get up here. Mauricio's in the house. Mauricio said, that's my guy. Great work, Brother Stern. Absolutely. Komet says, I'm not in tech, but in data. It's true that you need a mentor to navigate these spaces. Absolutely. Marvin says, I will be transitioning to a service desk in 2 weeks. How long does one have to wait before they start to seek a mentor or sponsor? Very good question. Very good question. You want to take that one, Stern?
Yeah. Don't wait. Right now. Reach out to Mr. Wade, or if there's somebody in your company that you see that's in a role that you want to be in, reach out to them. Send them an email. Hey, can we have a little bit of a virtual coffee, sit down and talk about, your role? I would like to become this. Or do you have any pointers for me? But there's no time limit. There is no time limit of when to get a mentor or a sponsor.
I agree. I agree with
the
that.
better.
The faster the better that's exactly it. Why wait, right? Let's just say you get into that role, and wait 6 months. Well, there could have been already an opportunity for you to move on to something else, right? And that's 6 months that you don't have learning and working with somebody, all right? So
Yes.
as Stern says, do it right away. Do it right away. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong for you to come in and start to quickly develop a relationship with somebody. It's nothing wrong with you doing that right away. Go ahead, Stern. You were saying something.
And to add to what Antoine was saying about the importance of it, my girlfriend, for instance, she was having the damnedest time to get promoted because she didn't really have a sponsor or mentor to speak for her. And then once she got a sponsor and a mentor that was aligned with what she wanted to do, she got promoted. And this year, matter of fact, less than 3 weeks of speaking with them.
See, guys, we help people. We help people who want to be like us. A lot of the times, that's what it is. Like, you have no idea. So, Brother Trey, if he's watching right now, let me tell you something. Brother Trey is 18 years old, and he reached out to me, and he told me about himself. And I'm going to tell you like this, man. I was just so in awe after talking to this young man. 18 years old, has a job at Burger King. He's in community college. He has a job at Burger King. He's doing an externship for Deloitte. He's doing an externship for Salesforce. You talking about you don't have time. And this is at 18 years old.
Two of the big boys.
He's with the big boys. And when somebody reaches out to you like that, you're going to want to help them. I'm like, when Trey gets out of school and I'm running, some corporation, I'm hiring Trey. Yeah. I'm already, because he's reached out. So there's no time limit on this at all. I'm like, if he gets out of school, when he gets out of school, and let's just say we're in a need of a role here at Black Heights where I need to bring in some, developer or whatever he is in his role, I'm hiring him.
Yes.
I'm hiring him. That's the importance of reaching out to people, and not only just reaching out to them, reaching out to people when you are a good person and you see something in them where they are a role model or you want them to be your mentor and they see something back. Like, it's important, guys. It's very important. And for a person like me who gets into positions of power, I'm just like the rest of them. We like to be admired. And when we are admired, we take care of people. That's why it's even the same thing for my wife. She admires the work that I do, which is the reason why I take care of her and my family. They all admire me. That's the whole point of marriage. And you admire other people, and that's how people work to do certain things in their lives, guys, is you get to positions of power, you are a role model. You like to help people. You want to help people. You want to see people's lives change. I wanted to see Stephen to have extra money in his pocket. So I'm like, okay, well, he's a dope dude. Okay. He told me that I was one of the first managers that he's ever hired or had an interview with. I'm in a position of power. He showed that admiration. He worked up beside me. I said this, here you go. You're getting paid. That's how you do it. That's how you do it in positions of power, guys. Let me continue on with these chats. UTech says, hi, it's inappropriate to ask, can you post a video on Masters in Engineering Management? That's a good one, UTech. I would add that to the list. I think I even mentioned that I may have added that to the list already. I think it's already on there. It just takes me some time, depending on what's in the queue. So it could come this month, or it could come in another month. But what you can do, if you really want some information on it, just reach out to me, shoot me an email, or book a coaching session with me. I would say the latter, because then you have my undivided attention and so forth. And then if it's a long email, I can certainly, obviously depends on how much time I have. I pick and choose if I need to get to it or not. But I would say this, the best thing for me, YouTube, if you have information that you want right away, just book a session with me. Otherwise, I will get to it when it gets in my queue, because I have a good size video queue. Ashton's in the house, another person Ashley, man, I can't wait for you to join the Patreon. You say you were going to join, but I appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. The $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Ashley. I appreciate you. Black Heights, or Professor Black Ops says this. Black Heights got me thinking differently at my age. Professor Black Ops, man. Professor Black Ops, man. You know what? I try to bring the the real life experiences a lot of the times, man, and just to share, my insights. And my insights may not be the path that people need to take, but I'm just going to share it from my perspective of when you get to positions of power. A lot of people always have these challenges about diversity and so forth. Well, how are you going to fix diversity when you don't have people in these positions of power? How are you going to look out at the people when you don't have people who want to go and get it? I'm like, I do it to help out others, right? I'm like, and I'm fair with everybody I hire. I make sure that I hire people that are competent, people who are going to do a good job for me, people who are going to buy into my vision. And I am very crystal clear right away when they're coming on to my team, what my expectations are. And I make sure that I take care of these people. I make sure that I'll take care of these people because you know what? At the end of the day, they're taking care of me. And as a manager, it's not about you. It's not about you. It's about them. And that's the thing. It's not about you. It's about them. How are you? What are you doing for them? And at the end of the day, if you see it that way, ultimately they're going to make you look good. They're going to make you look good. I mean, like I got promoted after hiring Steven. I accelerated my career and having that team. I probably had the ACT team for about 2 years. After that, it was like, oh, wow, he built this team from the ground up. Director, senior director. That's it. I'm out of there. Yeah. It's time for me to do something else. But
the only that transition, you moved in, you also promoted within the company,
right?
Another person who looked like us to a position of power.
Yes, exactly. Mr. Andre, Mr. Oliver, and Kelly, and Kelly as well, and Kelly was Kelly came in as a I believe she wasn't QA. She was quality assurance, and I promoted Kelly to a manager. Andre Oliver, another person, he was a team lead. He never got a shot to be a manager from anybody else that was his manager at that point in time. I came in, I got Andre together, and I'm gonna tell you like this: Andre was different than you, Stephen, because Andre was a piece of work. And I'll tell you this, guys: when you are in these positions of power, a lot of the times you're going to run across people who going to think they're better than you, who look like you, and we call them like crabs in the barrel, right? And I'm not saying that Andre is crab in the barrel, but here's the situation about Andre. Andre had been in this role for many years. He was in a team lead role. I came in as a manager. So Andre looked at me like, man, why am I not manager? Why am I not manager? Who is this guy that's coming in? And I'm younger than Andre, by the way. Andre is, in his mid of his career, but he didn't get that opportunity. So of course, Andre and I didn't have a good relationship when I came in there. It was because he was standoffish. It was his attitude. It was the what I would say he was snarky, right? I don't think he had a level of respect for me, right? And I was just like, dude, like, who are you? What is it that I've done to you that you're going to be acting like this towards me, just because I'm your manager? Yeah. So one of the days, I decided to do this. I took Andre out to lunch. And I explained to him what my expectations were. And I explained to him that I'm not his previous managers. And I'm going to tell him like this. I said, if you do the work that I've asked for you to do, and you're meeting my expectations, I guarantee by the time that I leave this role, you're going to be promoted to manager. And I made him that deal, and I made him that promise. And we saw eye to eye from there. And guess what? Andre is a friend of mine, still to this day. And he looks back at that time, that rough patch that we had, and he looks back at and saw how sensitive he was. And he had never saw another brother in a position like that. And when he's already in a position that he thinks he deserves, but nobody saw it in him. And nobody would take the time and coach him and share with him what his problem areas were and the reason why he wasn't getting promoted. You know the reason why Andre wasn't getting promoted? He wasn't getting promoted because his soft skills sucked. That's why. That's exactly it. His soft skills sucked. And it took me to have to tell him that and tell him that he needed to work on it. And by the time I saw of the work and how he was able to deliver for me and my team and how they had improved, because I would put him in to some of the toughest customer calls. And I would see how he would react. And I would have to be in those calls with him until it got to a point after a good 6 or 7 months I didn't have to be on those calls anymore. No reason for me to be on those calls because Andre could handle them. And then I said, you know what? You're ready. You're ready. That's what managing is about, guys. That's what managing is about. It's about you leading people, you helping others, you getting the results, you taking care of them, and ultimately they're going to take care of you. I say this all the time. It's about results. Management there's 2 fundamentals to management: results and knowing your people. And when you know your people and you pour into your people, they're going to do their best job for you. And that's going to get you the results. It's simple. It's as simple as that. Those are my 2 points. People always try to make it more difficult than that. No, but if you care about people and you're looking out for them, they're going to take care of you. And you have to be an effective communicator because, a lot of times people are shy away to have that conversation that I had with Andre. A lot of times they don't want to have that conversation and say, you know what, I'm not going to deal with that. And that's what his prior managers did. They said, you know what, I'm not going to deal with this guy. I said, you know what, nope, I'll have a conversation with you. And still to this day, Andre and I probably text once a month, me checking in his career and so forth. But let me continue on. Let me see what else is in the chat, man. Steven, you still got some time for us still?
Oh yeah.
Okay, perfect. I want to make sure I'm not going over your time. Earl Marquis says, hold on. Marvin says, oh, yes. Professor Black Ops says, Marvin, congrats on your tech job. Yes, congratulations on that too, Marvin, for going into the tech help desk role. But yes, do not wait, sir. Do not wait at all to find a mentor in the company that you're at. Engineer Cannabis says, have sponsors can lead to great opportunities. Due to sponsors, I was given numerous opportunities to be CTO for numerous startups. Look at that. Engineer Cannabis is saying it himself. Have sponsors can lead to great opportunities. Due to sponsors, I was given numerous opportunities to become a CTO for numerous startups. Absolutely. It's fantastic. Earl says, so glad I found this channel. Omega says, great stream. Utah says, thanks, man. I am blessed. I appreciate you. Absolutely. Jabron says, you can use the lack of diversity to your advantage. I don't run into many black comic veterans in tech. Absolutely. Absolutely. You can use it to your advantage. You can get into these positions of power and help others out as well. Absolutely. Do that. Pro Style. My work mentor helped me get my last promotion, but he was recently moved to a new role with no direct reports. The department vibe has changed dramatically. Absolutely. A lot of the times when people move out, there is a change. And maybe Stern, you could probably talk about that too, right? Like when I left that organization, was there a change? Because I think you guys are reporting to Straka then, right?
Oh, Jesus Christ, man. It was so many changes in that organization. And it always felt like it was a snow globe and you shake it up. And you're like, all right, what's today going to bring now? So yeah, we were reporting to Straka, who was on the supply chain side, but the side I was on was a retail side. And then that ended up changing again, then it changed again, and then it changed again, then it changed again.
Yep.
Sometimes shakeup is good, but a lot of shakeup is not good because then what happens is the team and the employees, they begin to become disheartened, and they also start not believing their leadership because there's so many changes that are happening. You're like, well, if all these changes are happening, then something must be coming on the horizon or the company's not stable. And that's what happened.
I love how you say it.
But it's a lesson, because now that I've been through that path, I can see things coming. I understand things like, being in some of those roles where it's always you're being reactive to situations just because of how the legacy applications are set up or the support chain. It kind of toughens you up. So you can have those calls with the difficult customers now. And then you realize, you're like, oh man, this is a breeze. It's escalation. This is easy. This is nothing. We're used to dealing with Starbucks and Publix and the Walmarts screaming at you and the Chevrons. You're getting woke up at 2:00 in the morning because something's going down in Australia. You get to take all those moments that you had and take it into your new role, and you're like, oh, if this is what I can do and it was this hard, everything else is going to be easier. So that's just how I took it.
I love it.
And it is easier.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Let's continue on in the chat here. Let me we got some more chats in here. 3J says, I never was the best student in engineering, wasn't for me, but I want to. Oh, hold on. Let me get to that message. Let me cancel that one. I think this is what you want. I was never the best student from high school. Then later found out engineering wasn't for me. I'm looking to pursue MIS, but needed college coach and a mentor. Any help, Black Heights? Absolutely, man. Book a session with me, man. Definitely, I would say that, or become a patron, 3J. With a premium patron, you get access to me at least once a quarter. That's the route that I would say you can go as well, too. So become a patron. The link is in the description of this video, should be, as well as in my prior videos as well, too. But absolutely. Pro Style says this, my work mentor, we got to that one already. Kamal says this, one of my old bosses taught me a few years ago that the people who succeed the most are often those with the best attitude. That's absolutely true, too. That is absolutely true, man. The best, you got to have a good attitude. You absolutely have to have a good attitude.
Tell him, Antoine, you got to smile through the pain. Let him see you sweat, baby.
You don't want to see you sweat, man. You don't want to. That's something that I've learned very early from being out there on warehouse floors where I put in a piece of code and it caused the entire warehouse to go down. Me just walking out there like, holy shit. And everybody's just looking at me like, what's going on? Why did our ARF again stop? Why is everything locking up?
Right.
Like, you can't sweat. You got to be like, oh, I don't know. Let me go figure it out. Knowing that I was an issue. Knowing that I was an issue, now I'll do a quick sneak, back that code out real fast. Nobody would see it. Yeah, exactly, right? That's absolutely right. Blind Guy, their wife is live, says this, did I hear soft skills? Did I appreciate the super chat? Thank you guys so much for being so generous. The $10 super chat. Did I hear soft skills? We've had repeat offers to speak to corporate growth because of the competing performers were less personal and were more generic. We tailor experiences. They couldn't. Absolutely. So the Blind Guy, his wife, their life. If one of the thing that you would notice right away, guys, here's the thing, when you watch this beautiful couple, Corey and Laquita, and you see how they play off each other, you see that they have some really, really good soft skills. If you just watch the show, watch the little subtle jokes that they put in there, watch the great attitude, the smiles, you see that they are corporate soft skills teachers. And they have a communication degree, and I believe Laquita is in drama and theater. But they use that to be able to share and show people and to coach people into soft skills and give workshops and webinars. And here's the thing, right? They are the best at it. I see why they are corporate teachers and they get these sort of gigs, because they're experts at it. They are experts at it. Watch this show, guys. Hey, guys, if you haven't subscribed to this beautiful couple yet, go ahead and do so. And also, guys, if you haven't subscribed to Brother Professional Black Ops, jump over to his channel. Another fantastic content creator, big brother of mine. Who else? Groups. Oh, yeah, I understood. Thanks for the correction. Marvin Williams says, Black Heights, Stephen, taking your advice. I will be booking my one-on-one ASAP. I appreciate that, Marvin. Absolutely. Go ahead and do that. I'll be finishing up my Bachelor of Science in Management Studies in less than a year. Watching your content, I've decided to pursue my Master's in CIS. Do you recommend that I specialize in a certain field or not? I'll let you take that one, Stephen. I already know my answer, but people don't want to always hear from me. So the question is, do you recommend? He's thinking about getting his Master's in Computer Information Systems, which is a fantastic major, right? Yes. Do you think he should specialize in something?
So I will definitely say specialize in something. My specialization was in information security because that's what the role I was in. And my plan at the time was I wanted to be the United States Army Reserve's technical manager for InfoSec. So that's why I went for that role. Now, I'm not in InfoSec anymore, but because I went in that direction, that's what I wanted. So I would definitely say specialize in something, but specialize it in the field that you are interested in.
Mm, mm, I agree.
Don't just take it because you see it makes a lot of money. Make sure you are interested in it, because if you're not interested in it and you start learning it, it's going to burn you out.
I agree. I agree with that. Absolutely. Welcome to the chat, Adrian. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming in. Marvin Nash says, wait, until I have more experience at the service, this is what I should specialize in. That's going to give you more exposure when you have the experience at the service desk. So it's not a bad idea. The question is here's the thing. If you don't have to specialize right away, then give it some time. But if you need to declare what that specialization is, Marvin, then yeah, I mean, like you got to go for what has an interest to you based on you reading it, right? It could be the fact that you're interested in network security or databases or project management. Whatever is the thing that you have an interest in now, there's an interest because you already are wanting to get into CAS. But what about CAS do you really, really enjoy about that? What is it that you really want to be? Go towards that specialization and what you have an interest in now, and you can always change it, right? If you want to, do something else. Certificate is another way that you can change and do something else. It's very simple. Okay. Professor Blackout says you got that steak, Adrian. Oh man, great advice. Amy Van says great advice. I appreciate you, Amy. Thank you so much for coming in. Stern, anything? Hey guys, anything else? Matter of fact, how much time you got, brother?
Oh, I got time. I got another hour before I got to get out of here.
Okay, well, and I'm not going to go a full hour, but guys, let me do this. I'll give the folks in the chat, guys, if you want to come on and share your stories with mentorships, coaches, sponsors, and so forth, come on in. I will open up a Zoom call, and what you guys can do is come on in and share your stories as well too. Let me get something going real quick. Stern, continue to drop some gems for me while I get this technology set up, man. What you got for us?
Well, the biggest gem just throughout my 20 years of being in this technical world are constantly elevate yourself and learn. Always learn new technology. Technology is changing every 2 to 3 months. Stay abreast on it so you have new skill sets to take to different roles, or you can even learn those new skills and improve your role at the company you're at. You might be able to create a new platform, new position for yourself. Have the drive and initiative to be successle. Try your best to not become stagnant. I learned that the hard way. We are our biggest downfall, but you have to learn how to overcome that by trusting in yourself and taking a leap of faith.
I love that.
Believe in yourself and you do great.
No, I love that, Stern. I love that, man. Like, it's important for people to hear that from other people, and not just myself. I'm like, this is from a mentee of mine, a brother of mine, somebody that I look up to, and somebody who is getting the game. And not only that, Stephen is doing well for himself in life. I'm like, he's obviously tremendous in his job. He's a tremendous person. He likes to enjoy himself, and he continues to elevate himself, right? And he's somebody who obviously we need to continue to take care of as well too, because they're looking after us. And here's the thing, right? Steven's he's already in a position of power, and when he has an opportunity to make these hiring decisions, he's going to be looking for people who are like him at one point in time. Sometimes, if he has an opportunity to make that hiring decision, he's going to hire him, right? And that's how the cycle continues to roll over and over again, guys. And that's how I think diversity numbers personally can be fixed, by taking people getting to these positions of power and absolutely making making those decisions.
Agreed.
Brother, Dr. Dix, man, I appreciate you, man. Dr. Dix says, donate to the banana.
You donate to the empty gas.
Oh my God, I appreciate you, Dr. Dix, man. He says, donating to the benevolent fund. Dr. Dix is a PhD computer science major as well, too, Stern. And he comes in and he drops gems all the time, man. He drops gems all the time. Guys, here, I open the Zoom. Let me do this. I got to put it in here. I don't think I put it in the chat at all, but let me do this. I want to hear from you guys. I love to hear from you guys. Let me get the link, copy the link. You know me, I'm technically challenged. Let's do this. Put that in here. Adrian says, I need to increase my network. Link up with me, Ali, on LinkedIn. Adrian Nass, AC. Yep, another LinkedIn person. I'll send you a LinkedIn too, Adrian.
So to everyone, LinkedIn is an excellent tool for networking and getting jobs. That's where I was getting contacted by Amazon, Google, Splunk, and a multitude of companies. Was directly from LinkedIn. I don't even mean I was applying. They were reaching out to me. Another good tool, which you can do is companies now like to see that you have an online presence. Just create an online CV on Wix. They love to see that kind of stuff. And it's free. They're like, man, this man took the initiative to have an online digital presence and his resume is on here. We have to talk to this guy. And it helped.
Yep. And that's a good point. So that, you know what, Stephen? We talk about LinkedIn a lot on this channel. And I think every single week we're talking about LinkedIn. And guys, you have to have an online presence. You have to have a LinkedIn. If you want to, change careers. You guys saw the power of, that conversation that I had with Gabe and Jabron and Professor Black Ops and Houston Phenom a couple of weeks ago. I mean, literally, when you network with people and you have a LinkedIn, you get an opportunity to meet a lot of people. And the power of it is like this, right? When you're networking and so forth, once you meet somebody, they're going to be able to look after you, whether that is to get your resume to a hiring manager or be able to bring you in for an interview if they're hiring. All that stuff is done now a lot of the times online, especially after the pandemic. So in LinkedIn is one of the fastest growing social media platforms that exist out there. And not only that, recruiters are all over it. So you have to have a LinkedIn. And, as Stern mentioned, create a digital presence for yourself, whether it's LinkedIn or having your CV or your resume on you said Wix, correct?
Yeah, Wix. Wix will let you create a free website. You don't have to pay them absolutely anything. Use the tools that are out there. We are in an age now where it's hard to be ignorant now. We have all the information at our fingertips. Use it.
Absolutely. We got my good brother in the house, man. We got my good brother in the house. Let me see and make sure, Professor Black Ops, are you on? Can you hear us, brother?
I can. Y'all crystal clear. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, man. We can hear you. We can hear you now. I got to figure out, Professor Black Ops, if I can get you on the screen. I may not be able to get you on the screen, but either way, they can hear your voice, man. Let's make it a call-in show. What you got for us today, brother, man? My good brother, man. How are you, brother?
Oh, I can't complain. Y'all always dropping good information, so I just want to come in and give him a shout out to my man. I'm ex-DOD. I love that government money. I like to eat off the government, so shout out to him for the Department of Defense.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Hey, so, Professor Black Ops, man, how you doing this morning, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, man. I got up. You were a role model, man. I got my little walk on, trying to get back to my old man, my 1 meal a day, trying to get myself together in my old age. But I can't complain, man. I can't complain.
I hear that, brother. I hear that, man. I appreciate you, man. You got to get up and get that. You got it done before I did, though. I didn't get up this morning and get my walk in yet, man. I got up and got my coffee, and I was like, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna work out after this, though, man.
No, I feel you. But I'm old. I get up with the old people. I got a lot of old ladies. We be out there walking. They be like, good morning. I'll be like, good morning. We be trying to get it in for the sunset. I'm with the old people. I used to be like you, work out. I'm up there with the old people about 7:30 out there walking. Good morning. We getting it in. Shout out to the old people. We getting it in.
Walking with them.
Oh, man, I love it. Oh, that's awesome, man. That is awesome, Professor Blackops, man. I appreciate you coming in, guys. If you haven't subscribed to Professor Blackops, man, go ahead and do that, man. He's always dropping gems. A wonderful content creator, big brother, getting his workout in. He said he's going to get to the 1 meal a day, man. Hey, I'm gonna tell you like this. I can do it. I've been feeling good from doing it too, Professor Blackops, man. I've been feeling real good.
Oh yeah, I need to get like when my mom passed away, that kind of threw everything out. So I got to get back on there. Yeah, when I was doing it, I lost a ton of weight. Like you said, once you do it, your appetite adjusts to it. But
exactly,
getting there could be a little hard. But once you get there for a couple of weeks, you're set. You're set.
Absolutely. What were you saying, Stern?
No, I said that 1 meal life is life. I've been on it. One meal a day. Drink your black coffee. Eat at 2. Don't eat past 8.
Yep.
Drink black coffee. Yeah,
that's pretty much my thing. That's what I'm drinking right now this morning. I didn't even get my latte today. I actually got a black coffee, bitter, but that's the way to do it, man. So Professor Blackops, tell me this. Obviously you got role models. You have you've mentored a lot of people, right? You've mentored a lot of people. Talk about the importance of mentors, sponsors, role models, and so forth.
Oh, you need them, especially in a big corporation. Like you said, that was 100%. I'm interviewing them on my channel. A lot of them are gatekeepers really in the organization. So like you said, you got to have somebody representing you. A good friend of mine, he's probably 10 years older than me. And I was kind of like his right-hand man. So I was in with CEOs, CIOs, COOs, and legal staff. Because, when you in IT and compliance, so a lot of people would try to lead me away. He would just look at me like, come with me. So next thing I'm in the corner, but I'm in the room with the people.
Yep.
And, at first I didn't really realize it. Then, I'm walking down and I'm talking to the CIO, the chief information officer, the head of legal, and we having conversations. And I'm thinking, oh, well, I was just in a meeting with them. They were asking me questions.
Yep.
Right. Yep. So then when you with those guys, it's just it's a different vibe.
It is.
Like a young guy on my team, he had the MBA with the CyberSecurity. He didn't get a job. Basically, I told everybody I want him. Ooh. And like you did, and they brought him on the team. And the guy that's mean, that don't like everybody, him's cool. We go way back. He goes, we call him Tiny. He's like, I don't know about Tiny. I was like, I want Tiny. He goes, well, if Tiny don't do his work, you got to do his work. I'm like, I got him. He's like, okay, I'll pick him. It'd be, you've been in those meetings. It's just that easy.
Exactly.
Because they trust you.
That's exactly it.
Right. I'm not going to let him fail. I got his back. They're like, okay. Right. So, you can start co-signing for people.
Yep. And in return, Professor Blackops, you know what they do? They're loyal. They're loyal to you, man. They're loyal.
Facts.
And you just never know. Here's the thing with that too. You just never know where they're going to be later in their career as well, because you may need them later on. They could be a gem where they accelerate all the way up super fast. But they know what? They're going to look at you as, you gave me an opportunity. You gave me an opportunity, and they will always be loyal to you for that.
Oh, always. Yeah. I never have a problem. Like I said, my contract's up in June because I'm a consultant. So I reached out, like you said, I got guys working in AWS. I got one guy in Google. I got one guy in Salesforce. The guy in Salesforce sent me 2 director of compliance jobs. I always kind of shied away sometimes from management, but now you got me thinking a little different. I'm like, I might try to get me a management spot. So at one time I was supervising a team. My first team was just so good. My second team was just horrible. And it just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. So now at my level, I advise CEOs, I advise the CISO for the organization I work at, because we report to the IRS and I understand compliance inside out. So I'm in this meeting, so they ask me questions. What do we do for compliance, privacy? So, I can just shoot it off the hip, but I don't have a staff.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's good, but, sometimes, if I need to pull people in on a certain time, if I got a big staff, then that will make it easier for me to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Then true. You got me thinking about trying to get part of profits now. I never thought about being on the delivery team. You showed a couple pay stubs. I'm like, I might try to get some of that profit money. I can see a creditor investor money. I can see it, but I'm like, maybe I need to ride past that now. I'm thinking a little different.
Well, I say this, right? So one of the things is this. One of the things is this, guys, and many people just don't understand this too, Professor Blackops. the further you move up, the more money you make, right? So, and here's the thing. We all know that, well, for the most part, and this is true on, I would say 90% of the cases. Managers at the same level makes more than individual contributors at the same level. Okay. That's just the facts, right? So you can have a manager that works at Amazon, he could be at a level 6. And then you can have a solution architect that works at Amazon, he could be at a level 6. You would probably see that manager, his overall compensation is going to be more than that of the individual contributor. And it could be just by a small percentage, but it's going to be more. So typically managers make more, but as you continue to climb up, right? That's where you're taking on more, you're asking for more, you're doing more, you're responsible for a team, they're going to pay you more. And then the higher you go up, you get an opportunity to get equity into companies based on their compensation. So a lot of your compensation is not coming from your base salary. A lot of it's from people doing a good job for you, for your team's metrics, your overall team's performance. And if you can make sure that your team is doing fantastic by being a good manager, then more than likely you're going to get the bonuses that you're going to probably hit the core of the bonuses if that's what your compensation is based off of. So just imagine that, guys. You can make a lot of money by moving up into these positions of power and getting, stock options, bonuses and stuff like that. And it can make you a whole shitload of money. So when people say, I don't want to go into management a lot of time, PBO, I'd be like, man, that's an opportunity for you to get to the bag. It's a huge opportunity for you to get to the bag. What's your thoughts on that, man?
To add to that.
No,
that's true.
Right. I guess, I'm kind of lucky, because I'm in advisory position. So I'm kind of at the top, too. But like you're right, when you get in there. But two, one time is every now and then, I got stock options at a company. Then they bought a bigger company and went under. So my stock options was underwater.
Yes, that can happen. That can certainly happen.
Right. But, I didn't feel really super negative about it because that's the risk of doing that, right? When you in there, you got to understand the risk of your compensation, what you're signing up for, right?
That's true. That is so true. But PBO, that is so true. So here's the thing. You're absolutely right about that. And that's happened for even companies that we bought as well, too, where, you end up, let me get that off the screen. I got the wrong thing on the screen. Where you end up getting stock options, and then all of a sudden your company merges with somebody else and the stock isn't worth that much anymore. That's the game of the private sector. That is the game of the private sector a lot of times. Let me get to the super chat real quick. I know, Stern, you had something to say. I know you wanted to add in there as well. Mr. Nick sent the super chat. Funny, we are talking about a site, just starting building my new blog slide on WordPress last week. Absolutely. I appreciate you for the super chat, brother. Thank you so much, Mr. Nick. Stern, you were going to say something. Go ahead.
So piggybacking off the equity in companies, I actually have a very close friend of mine he's the one who told me about the equity in company where you get into manager positions. So he's actually a manager at Instacart.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're with these companies that have not yet IPO'd, but they're going to, and the stock options that they give you, they can make you very, very, very wealthy.
Yes. Very, very, very well. Think about this, guys. You remember, just imagine being the first person or the 50th person at Facebook, right? The majority of people who got rich was with Facebook when they were early on in their, when they first started. They were with Facebook when they first started. So just imagine being the 50th person that signed on to Facebook. Whenever that company would grow, you would automatically have a VP title. You would automatically have a VP title a lot of times as the companies continue to grow because you've been one of the original people that's there and they're going to take care of you. And not only that, you're going to get equity. And when, Facebook went IPO, it made billionaires. Just imagine being the 50th person for that company when they went IPO. And here's something that I'll share with you guys. I want to share this with you guys because this is an anatomy of managers versus individual contributors and how much money that you can actually make in this sort of a role. Give me 1 second, okay? I'm going to get this over here, and I'll get you back up there too, Professor Black Ops. But check this out. So I'll share this with you guys. Anatomy of 2 Amazon offers, right? So here's the thing. A manager at a level 6 position, let's just say you're a software development manager. You're a level 6, number of years, you've been there 10 plus. Your base salary is $160,000. You get a 1-year sign-on bonus for $250,000. You get a year 2, another sign-on bonus for $195,000, right? You get restricted stock options for $740,000, right? You see that this is more than this, and this, right? The RSUs are worth more than the year 1 and the year 2 in your base salary. That's how you get paid. That's how you're making it. So this manager is making his first year $447,000. Year 2, $461,000. Year 3, $456,000, and year 4, $456,000. And the guys, if you don't know what RSUs are, stock options, and what happens is the first year he gets 5% of the $740,000. Second year that he stays with them, he gets 15% of the $740,000. The fourth year he gets the third year he gets 40% of it, in the fourth year 40%. But here's the thing: when you are a manager, here's the compensation payout, the total. So if you are a manager, you're going to make 1.8 at a level 6. If you are a individual contributor, you can make 1.7 mil, right? So we already know that managers make more than, obviously individual contributors, and you don't have to be a manager at all. But if you want to be in positions of power, a lot of the times, to get to positions of power, it's good to become a manager, because you can ultimately impact diversity numbers. You can help other people. You can change people's lives and stuff like that. So I just wanted to touch on that piece of it. We got Kevin IT support in the house. I appreciate you, brother. Another good content creator who's here with us in the house as well, too, man. Kev IT support is super dope, guys. Go and check his channel out. Fantastic content creator and somebody who's doing some fantastic things as well, too. Welcome to the chat, brother Kevin. Stern, what you got on that?
I think I need to move into management. I need to go seek a company who has a high market cap. Yes.
PBO, what you got on that, brother?
Oh, I didn't hear his response from him, but the restricted, that's really the way to go with stock options. Like I said, the first time I got them, they were underwater. So, that's going to be the next play.
Yep. And that could be a big play. I mean, that's a big play. It worked out for me. And not only that, as I continue to extend within my career at the company that I'm at, those packages become even more, right? So again, that's how you get to the bag, man. Anything else you got, brother, Professor Blackouts, man? Where's this morning?
I'm in. I'm about to drop down. I appreciate it. Always a great show. Always dropping gems.
Man, I appreciate your PBO, man. Thank you so much for coming through, man. And we'll catch up with you later next time, brother. All
right. Shout out to Kev Tech, man. Shout out to Kev Tech.
Kev Tech is dope.
Later.
See you guys. So Stern, anything else you got for us, brother?
No, I think I'm out of gems. If anybody has questions, concerns, or just anything, feel free to reach out to me. It's my email is stevenstern0626@gmail.com. I have a YouTube, but it's not very active. So,
hey man, as you
honestly forgot I had it.
Well, I tell you one thing, it's one of those things where you can get your technical expertise out to a lot of the people in this space. Professor Black Ops is the tech channel. Kev IT supports a tech channel. You got many of us who have tech channels that exist out there. And, it's another way that you can, grow a following and stuff like that. I think YouTube is fantastic, especially if you, want to share your knowledge and, to the world. And it's going to be something that's going to be around for a very long time. I think YouTube is fabulous for that, man. If you want to come over to this side, join us one day.
Hey, I'm gonna look into it because my girlfriend, she's been pushing. She's a marketing major. She's a MailChimp, and she's a firm believer in YouTube. So we'll be working on something shortly.
Nice. We got blind guy. His wife says, "Is it too late to pop in?" Let me make sure I still have it. Yes, I dropped it off, blind guy, but I can open up a new one. Stern, if you need to drop, you can drop. I can, what I can do here is I can take an additional calls because it looks like Blind Guy, his wife, their life wants to come on. Let me drop another link in here. I can certainly do that.
I can drop.
Okay. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Stern. Thank you so much for coming through today. I know you got to get to your busy day, and I kept you on for a long time. But I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for coming on and sharing your story, my man.
All right, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. See you, Stern. Let me do this. A Blind Guy, their wife, their life. Let me do this. I would love to open this up to you all to share your story as well too. That would be fantastic. Let me get this. Boom. I would love to hear from you guys. And I got some time today too. So I was like, why not open this up to the chat? We got Houston Phenom in the house as well too. This brother Houston Phenom, brother Michael in the house. Amy Vance says, great show, all those free gems to put in play. Amy Vance, a new subscriber, we appreciate you. Blind Guy, his wife, their life says, great hearing from you, Steven. Kev Tech says, welcome, Amy. Absolutely, guys. I just dropped that in there. If you want to come on, Laquita, Corey, please do. We would love to hear from you as well. Come on in. Oh, there it is. There they are. Give me 1 second. Let me get you on the screen. Let me get you guys on the screen here. Let me do this. Where's my desktop capture? There you go. How you guys doing today?
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Corey, Laquita, how are you guys?
Yeah, we're doing fine. We're doing great. It's a great morning. Got morning started, and so we're just glad to be here. We're not gonna be up here long. We won't keep you too long, but yeah, we just came up here to shout out to you, Black Heights, and to Kev Tech, and to Mr. Stern, Professor Blackouts, all those panelists that came on and shared the information. It's been a great presentation so far.
Man, I appreciate you, Corey, man. I appreciate you, Corey, and Laquita as well, too. What you got for us, Laquita? I know you got to say something.
Always, right? You know what? Saturday mornings are so busy because I always cook, and I cook every day, but the kids are home. Yep. So that means they can put in requests or whatever. And then, we've got places to go next. So I'm just excited to be here, excited to hear from Stephen, the guy you're mentoring, the gentleman, the man. I shouldn't say the guy, but you know what I mean. Yep. So yeah, this is great. You always have great content. It's been great following you so far. So, we figured let's just pop in to chime in a little bit, with what we've got.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for coming on and spending some time with me this morning, man. I'm glad that you guys were listening in. Anything you guys want to say about the role models, mentors, and before you guys leave us?
Yeah, I think a lot of it, the mentors and the role models and coaches, I know one for us, and you said it so many times throughout this broadcast, is that, climbing that corporate ladder is not just about the hard skills, but it's about the soft skills as well, how to maneuver amongst people. I went to school, got a communication degree.
But Corey was actually before that though, Corey was actually in radiology school. He had a plan in place to go from X-ray tech to
nuclear medicine tech. But then, of course, I lost my vision when I was 19 years old, just, a semester shy of completing the radiologic technician program.
Oh, yeah, you were at the finish line.
Right. So I pretty much had to, revamp my life. And part of that was going back to college, and I pursued a degree in communication. And it was like, what do I do with this degree in communication? And so that's when I started realizing, as part of, our background in theater and performing arts, we just basically, I said, we're learning so many things about different platforms, different philosophers like Piaget, Chomsky, Noam Chomsky, Piaget.
Hold on a second.
I made it
Someone
up.
else is coming in this audio.
No, go ahead. Continue on, Corey. I just made it. Come on. Go ahead.
I was just saying, we learned a lot from different communication philosophers like Jean Piaget, Noam Chomsky, Lev Vygotsky, and we just started taking, the information that we were learning and creating what we call our PVC pipeline for learning and engagement. Mm-hmm. And that's been our foundation. Our foundation for everything that we do is rooted in, the theories of education and human learning and and being interpersonal presentation.
That's how we've been able to, as we move forward, we said, okay, we are storytellers, we are presenters, we're educators, but what do we do with our information, right?
Yep.
So we were going to libraries. So we said, oh, well, let's produce CDs, let's record our information. So like some of the things behind us are in libraries. We were able to get contracts that way and just make it work and make it happen and stuff. So go ahead, Corey, because we move forward. And the point though with that is using those soft skills in those settings is something that we've done.
Right.
Absolutely.
And it's basically just building on, all those things that we've been learning, because, for a lot of people that don't know, it's not easy to climb a corporate ladder when you can't see, because people have to get beyond.
It's not easy to climb any ladder when you can't see.
Yeah, but I do pretty good on regular ladders, but like the corporate ladder, just getting people to see past the whole disability thing. So basically, I had to create an environment where I could maneuver professionally to be a viable source of income for the family, and that's where we are now. We're in the virtual space with our YouTube channel, and this is where we've started laying the foundation. Other people are telling us, well, Corey and Lakuta, you guys are a resource library for self-improvement. So we're like, hey, well, I guess we're the self-improvement resource library. So let's use that. And everybody's always commenting on our soft skills. Let us start showing people how they can amp up their soft skills. So we're laying the foundation for courses, for different types of webinars, seminars, Zoom sessions, training sessions, to get people to amp up their soft skills. And like I said, and part of that has been having people like Black Heights come to our channel and talk about their success and what they've been able to do. So we just appreciate what you're putting out, your content that you're putting out. We appreciate your time that you're putting into this, pouring into other people. And like I say, I think it's just awesome what you're doing and having all these different, letting people know that in the field of IT, it's not just zeros and ones. It's also the human factor involved as well.
That's true. That's true. I put it like this, man. I used the example on your channel the other day, Corey. I was like, when you know somebody, like I look at Corey as my friend. I've already talked to him like maybe 3 or 4 times. And just the fact that how I'm able to relate, and we're able to relate from, smoking cigars to drinking wine. That's how you build that foundation with people that you're going to work with for the rest of your life, right? And that's how you do it, and that's important, and that's the only way that you can get up to that corporate ladder as well too. So I'm glad that you guys are sharing that story and sharing, how you guys feel that soft skills are important, because it's very important, and you guys show it every single day in your show as well too.
Yeah, thank you so much.
One thing I like that you said before, you talked one of your videos about visibility. You talked about it yesterday on our show.
And we just want to make sure that we have reported you to the ADA. He's talking about visibility on the blind man's channel. It's not fair. It ain't right now. Just kidding.
I didn't even think. I swear I didn't think of that. But
let me tell you.
We invited you to violate the ADA on that one.
Right. And I'm gonna tell you, that's another thing that's so funny, because when we engage with people, we teach them how to treat us, because we say we watch YouTube. Corey says he watches YouTube, and we don't beat people up, because you want people to feel comfortable with you wherever you are, right? Yep. You don't want people to have to tiptoe around you. So that means, hey, if you are a blind guy and you're in a space where you're expected to do the same things as other people, and that you can, you want to also make them feel comfortable about it. We don't want Black Heights feeling like, wait, what does the ADA, the American Disabilities Act, say about X, Y, or Z, right? Yeah. So absolutely, let's use regular terms, unless, of course, there's a situation, then you want to bring it up. But
it's just part of using soft skills to, for managing engagement, because that's just something we do. Like I say, I tell people all the time, don't alter your language or your speech because I'm vision impaired, because then that becomes an unnatural interaction. Then you can't get to the point where we can't develop professionally or personally as friends. And so, like I said, I just, like I said, that whole visibility piece, some people call that, oh, you brown nosing, you're kissing up. Like, no, it's like, I'm making sure that people understand the value that I'm bringing to the table, so
that you can ask for more.
Look at that. I love it. Yep, and that's exactly it. So that you can get the things that you need. You hit it, Corey. So that you can get the things that you need. That's the most important thing, guys. We have to look out for ourselves. We have to look up for ourselves, and the way that you do it is, ask for more and that visibility. That's fantastic, Corey and Laquita. Anything you guys want to leave us with?
Yeah. How many fruits and vegetables have you had today? He only had water, I think, or no, black coffee. Was it?
This is the black coffee. I'm still drinking the black coffee here.
Hey, there you go.
Well, I've got a friend in the chat, Adrienne Nash. She is not plant-based, but she knows everything. So whatever she said she ate today, you guys out there follow her. She's not a health nut, but she knows how to eat delicious food that tastes good and it has healthy aspects to it. So listen to Adrienne. Okay.
Absolutely.
So don't listen to me, because some people say, dang, Laquita will have us eating salads. We don't, but you know.
They're vigilantes. They're vigilantes out there on the loose.
Right.
Yeah, we're not vigilantes.
Go ahead, guys, and follow Adrienne Nash. Absolutely. Another content creator. I got to go check out Adrienne. I had no idea she was a content creator, but I'm going to go check out, and guys, and go subscribe to it for the support as well, too.
I don't know that she has a channel. I just know she's always everywhere supporting everybody. So if she doesn't have a channel, you better get one, Adrienne, because you know we're all rooting for you.
Absolutely, Adrienne.
But thanks.
Absolutely.
We're gonna say goodbye, because we know that you have people waiting, and Kev Tech is enjoying his coffee. I've got to go finish enjoying mine before we get off to rehearsal.
I appreciate you, Laquita and Corey. Thank you guys so much for coming on today. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and thank you so much for coming to bless us on the Black Kites channel. I really appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. Take care.
Bye, guys. Have a good Saturday.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We got brother Kamal in the house. Let me unmute you, sir. Can you unmute yourself, brother Kamal? Let me see if I can. There you go. There. How are you doing this morning, man?
So what time is it here? So it's just after midnight here, but all is well. I actually just wrapped up some schoolwork. I had to jump into the lab. I actually set a notification because I actually thought it was pretty ironic that I set up a session with you, and a lot of things we're talking about, a lot of things are actually being discussed in the lab now. Yep.
That's amazing, man. It's late your time in the morning. Brother Kamal, guys, he is in Japan. He's in the Navy, a good brother of ours, man. Looking fresh, man. Look, you just coming from the club, brother.
Oh no, that actually wasn't intentional. I was actually about to go outside to the store once I get off hit the Zoom call here.
Nice, man. So tell me, man, what you wanted to bring to the conversation today, man. And let me tell people how I met you first, right? I met Brother Kamal this week through a coaching session. He booked a session with me, and I've known this brother ever since our conversation this morning, man. So tell us what you got on the topic today, brother.
So first things first, I wanted to say thank you for the counseling session. I definitely look forward to many more in the future. Mm-hmm. It was definitely very helpful. So actually, I know I'm actually similar to a lot of people who comment on your videos, where I know a lot of people you did have before are older and more established, but I fall into the category where a lot of us where we're younger and we may have experience and skills, but are just getting started out. So I definitely recommend speaking with Mr. Wade, just because a lot of you are probably similar to how I am, where you're very ambitious, want to do a lot of things, but a lot of the time what may happen is you may become scatterbrained or overtasked just because you want to do so many things and need to have more so what I would say a linear trajectory.
That's a good point. That is, come on, that's a very good point, man. And I appreciate the plug, sir. Hey guys, let me tell you this. I didn't set this up at all. This was Brother Kamal coming on today because he's been in the chat, man. I appreciate the plug, Brother Kamal. But you're absolutely right. Like, I come across a lot of individuals who are super smart, brilliant, like yourself, and they want it all. That's what it is, right? And I was that same person at that age too, Kamal, where, man, I wanted to be a CEO by the time I was like 25, 26, right? I mean, I had a direction I wanted to go into, but it wasn't always clear. And it wasn't until, my mentor sat me down and my coach sat me down, Scott Zickard, and he basically said this: if you want to get to this position, Antoine, if you want to be in the position that I'm in, this is the path that you need to take. And that's what I followed. And that's how I was able to get to that position. But you're absolutely right, Brother Kamal. And that's the importance of this as well, too, having role models. That's the importance of having role models and mentors, because they are people and coaches available as well too, because they are able to help you with that guidance, to help you focus and to help you get to the path that you want to get to. I love that you said that, brother Kamal. What else you got for us, brother?
So yes, and also another thing is also, so actually I was looking up demographics and statistics on the Zippia website that you recommended in one of your previous videos that you released.
Yeah.
And I was looking at demographics, and it said that actually African Americans aren't even listed on the demographics made up in tech, just because despite us being about 12% of the population in the United States, about 25 million adults, we make up less than 10%, or I think it's actually about 5%. And then actually of that 5%, it's mostly, from what I've seen, actually a lot of time African immigrants and not actually African Americans.
Yep.
So I definitely encourage more people to get into STEM fields and tech, because I know very few people that are into it. And then this platform is actually really huge just because you do not see a lot of Black people who are actually doing technology.
Yep, that's true. That's true. In the corporate world, that's it. In the corporate world, give me 1 second. Come on, I'm getting some feedback in here. In the corporate world, a lot of the times, you're absolutely right. There's not a lot of us that we see, and even for me, I wasn't able to emulate anybody who looked like me. Now, don't get me wrong. I was still able to find somebody who I wanted to, who I can, who was my role model and who was a mentor for me that didn't look like me. That doesn't stop for me from being a person that, was going to climb the ladder. But it's good to see people like you in positions like you, because they're more likely to become a mentor, and you won't have as many roadblocks a lot of the times and stuff like that. So I agree, brother Kamal. It's important, this channel and this platform, to show people that there's many of us in this tech space, but not only that, we're doing well. We're doing good things in this tech space as well too, man.
Yes, most definitely. But I appreciate everything. I enjoyed the live today, and I'll let you get on to other people.
Man, I appreciate you, brother. You go and have the rest of your a good night, man. Don't party too hard tonight, man. I know you're not studying, man.
I'm definitely studying.
All right, brother. You have a good rest of your night, okay?
All right, thank you. You too.
All right, bye-bye. So that's it, guys. That's how I would say it, guys. I wanted to just have this show today, guys, to share what was important. What was important? Let me do this. I think we got some questions that came up, and make sure I get to those. Miss Wade says she just boarded a flight. She is coming back home. I appreciate you, baby. I can't wait to see you. Kev says he's enjoying coffee. Brother Kev Tech says, thanks for taking. You guys are awesome. Adrian Nash, she's not a content creator. You should become a content creator, sweetheart. We will definitely become a big time follow. I had my homemade Moringa latte earlier. That sounds good. Brother Blind Guy's Wife to Life, no plant-based diets. That's awesome. I don't think there's anything else in here. Brother Kev Tech says, awesome show. Guys, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for spending my Saturday morning with me, talking about the importance of role models, mentors, coaches, sponsors. They are very important. You guys have heard the stories. Brother Steve Stern came on, shared his stories about how he came through the tech world, how he leveraged me as a role model, as a mentor, a coach, and obviously ultimately a sponsor as well too. You heard my stories, that I shared with you guys as well, and how I've leveraged these types of people to help me within my career. You heard Professor Black Ops come on to the show and share his experience with role models, and him being a role model, and him encouraging people to go to other role models, and him encouraging people to find mentors. Because I believe Brother Trey came to me from Professor Black Ops. You heard Kamal as well talk about his experience. You heard Blind Guy, his wife, their life, talk about it as well too, and how important soft skills are. Very, very important, guys. That makes or breaks your career. You won't be able to climb the ladder if you don't have good soft skills. You won't be able to climb the ladder if you don't have a mentor or a coach or a sponsor. even a role model that you look up to, that's been in these positions of power, that's gotten to this level in their career and has gotten a bag. It's super important. But let me just make sure that I leave you guys with the definitions of it again, because I want to make sure that you guys are very crystal clear here. So role models are, again, someone that you want to become, somebody that you admire, somebody that you think is pretty amazing, right? And if you want to have success in your life, you want to make sure that you are going towards people who have success in their lives and you want to emulate. Typically, if you want to have success in IT, make it somebody in IT. You can have role models in all aspects of your life as well, too, though, right? Mentors, somebody that talks with you, somebody that is willing to have a conversation about you, your career, what you're doing, how's life, how's your wife, how's your kids, somebody that you look up to as well, too. Somebody that's going to give you guidance, somebody's going to help you avoid some of those pitfalls and those traps. A coach is somebody who talks at you, somebody who tells you what you need to or what you don't want to hear a lot of the times, and somebody who is able to help you get to a specific task or a specific journey along your way. Again, they typically talk at you. And a sponsor is somebody that talks about you when you're not in the room, guys. It's important to have sponsors because if you don't, you're not going to have anybody talking about you in these rooms where a lot of these decisions are happening. And I'll leave it like this. You want to make sure that if you really want to make a difference, you're fighting to make a difference. And how I've been able to fight to make a difference is by getting to positions of power and having resources in my life. I can help with diversity numbers. I can help with just sharing my experiences with people who are in power, who don't look like me, to take to give other people who look like me opportunities. I can influence that way. I can be the example. I can share my experiences in my life to help one of you who follows me to say, I want to be like this person, right? And I can use my resources to hire who I want to hire, I can be using my resources to have the certain types of tenants that I want in my buildings and to help people that I want to help. That's what it's about. That's what it's really about. I can use my resources to influence my daughter's school about curriculums that I may or may not like. That's what having resources is about, guys. And I wanted to just share that with you all, about this experience today. And I wanted to recap it that way as well. Blind Guy, the wife says, great episode, Antoine. Wait, that red cup didn't look like black coffee. I added some Mio. I love to drink sparkling water with a little bit of Mio in it. It actually makes it taste very good. But no, the wine is going to come, though. The wine is certainly going to come today. And it will come a little bit after 3 p.m. today when my wife and the kids get home. But guys, thank you so much for joining me this coffee talk. I appreciate you guys. Have a good rest of your Saturday. Enjoy your friends, enjoy your family. And until next time, y'all. Peace. Tiffany Bass said I joined way too late. We'll definitely have to rewatch to pick up these gems. I appreciate you, Tiffany. Thank you for being here. Peace out. Casual Economist is in here as well. Kev Tech IT support says he needs to wind down and relax. Oh, believe me, I definitely will today. Mentors are important, guys. Sponsors are important. Coaches are important. Guys, before you leave, many of you are still watching. If you haven't hit that like button, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that like button. I definitely will, Kev Tech. I appreciate you, brother.